Red Bull boss Christian Horner delivered a pointed message to Liam Lawson following his recent appointment as Max Verstappen's teammate for the 2025 season. Meanwhile, FIA President Mohammed Ben Sulayem is facing calls to step down from F1 amid relentless criticism over a string of controversial decisions and accusations of treating drivers like children. Mercedes' George Russell has stirred debate by claiming that Max Verstappen was undeserving of his 2024 championship title. Let's discuss, and stay tuned until the end. Christian Horner sends clear message to Liam Lawson. Red Bull role defined for F1 2025. Red Bull Racing's team principal, Christian Horner, has set the stage for Liam Lawson's highly anticipated debut as Max Verstappen's teammate in the 2025 Formula One season. The announcement of Lawson's promotion to the senior Red Bull team came as part of a significant reshuffle within the Red Bull Racing hierarchy, which also sees Isaac Hadjar stepping into Lawson's former seat at Racing Bulls, partnering Yuki Tsunoda. At just 22 years old, Lawson's meteoric rise marks a turning point in his career, coming after only 11 Grand Prix appearances over 2 seasons. While his talent is undeniable, the challenge ahead is monumental. He will join Verstappen, a driver whose dominance has redefined the sport, with 4 consecutive world championships under his belt. Christian Horner has outlined Lawson's role within the team with refreshing clarity, emphasizing that Verstappen remains the team's undisputed #1 driver. Speaking to media outlets, Horner acknowledged the unique dynamics of pairing Lawson with Verstappen, likening it to assembling a football team. Absolutely, Horner confirmed when asked if Lawson's role is to complement Verstappen. In football terms, you can't have 2 elite center forwards. You need strength and depth across the team. Horner elaborated on the strategic reasoning behind the decision. Liam's experience, although limited, has shown great promise. He brings the depth we need from an engineering and tactical perspective, which is crucial for what promises to be an incredibly tight season. Ferrari will have Hamilton and Leclerc, McLaren will field Norris and Piastri, all formidable lineups. Our approach is clear. Max is our lead driver. If Liam can get close to him on the timesheets, that will be fantastic, but Max remains our primary asset in the fight for championships. Horner's comments also touched on the contrasting philosophies within F1 teams, noting that while some teams back to equally matched drivers, this approach often leads to internal friction. By defining Verstappen's role unequivocally, Red Bull seeks to maintain harmony and focus within the team. The decision to promote Lawson wasn't solely down to Horner. For the first time, Red Bull's shareholders played a direct role in shaping the team's driver lineup. Long-serving advisor Helmut Marko revealed that negotiations with Sergio Perez had been amicable but influenced by the shareholders' vision of a younger, future-focused roster. Horner praised the shareholders' support. They've been tremendously supportive of the changes we proposed. Liam is a product of our junior team, much like Sebastian Vettel and Max Verstappen before him. We've nurtured his talent for 6 years, and now he's ready for this challenge. What's impressed us most is his character, his ability to handle pressure and scrutiny. Yes, he's only had 11 races, but the composure he's shown in those has been remarkable. This is a driver who's ready to thrive as Max's teammate. Ahead of the official announcement, Lawson spoke exclusively to media at the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. The New Zealander exuded confidence, viewing his new role as an opportunity to grow rather than a daunting task. I'm under no illusions about the challenge. Max is the fastest guy on the grid right now, outqualifying him by half a second. That's not going to happen. But this is an incredible chance to learn from one of the best in the sport. Max has been instrumental in developing the car and understands it inside out. To have access to that level of knowledge and to work alongside someone of his caliber is something I'm genuinely excited about. Lawson brushed off comparisons to Pierre Gasly and Alex Albon, who both struggled in their stints as Verstappen's teammates, highlighting the importance of focusing on his own path rather than others' experiences. For me, it's about making the most of this opportunity. I can't speak to what Gasly or Albon went through, but I know what I want to achieve. Being part of this team and learning from Max gives me a chance to elevate my performance and contribute to Red Bull's success. Meanwhile, FIA President Mohammed Ben Sulayem under fire for controversial decisions and condescending treatment of F1 drivers. Yes, FIA President Mohammed Ben Sulayem has come under intense scrutiny following a series of controversial decisions and his dismissive response to concerns raised by Formula One drivers. The backlash has prompted calls for his resignation, with prominent figures in the sport criticizing his leadership style and lack of respect for the drivers. David Coulthard, a 13-time F1 race winner, expressed his dismay over Ben Sulayem's recent remarks, dismissing a letter from the Grand Prix Drivers Association, or GPDA. The letter called for greater transparency, including clarity on how fine money is utilized, and criticized the FIA's stances on minor issues such as swearing, jewelry, and fireproof underwear regulations. In response, Ben Sulayem bluntly stated, "None of their business." Sorry, adding that drivers should concentrate on what they do best, which is race. Coulthard lambasted this response on the podcast. That is exactly the sort of condescending response that pisses people off nowadays. The drivers are at the pinnacle of their sport, and for their concerns to be dismissed outright is deeply troubling. Drawing on his own experience in F1, Coulthard added, "I never once felt treated like a child, not even when I made mistakes on the track. Frank Williams, Ron Dennis, and Christian Horner always treated me with respect. The same respect is owed to today's drivers." Former F1 team boss Eddie Jordan echoed Coulthard's sentiments, warning that Ben Sulayem's dismissive approach could have long-term consequences, especially with an election looming in 2025. When you have a group of celebrated individuals at the pinnacle of their sport, their voices should be valued, not dismissed. Mohammed should embrace dialogue with the drivers, not create a standoff. Jordan proposed a simple solution to the escalating tensions. Bring in a few representatives, perhaps Lewis Hamilton, Fernando Alonso, and others, and open a meaningful dialogue. This isn't just about respect. It's about effective leadership. The GPDA's letter highlighted concerns over the FIA's handling of various issues, from minor regulations to the broader tone used by Ben Sulayem when addressing or discussing drivers. It urged the FIA president to adopt a more respectful approach and engage in constructive dialogue. However, Ben Sulayem's outright dismissal of these concerns has only widened the rift. Critics argued that this standoff reflects a deeper issue within the FIA's leadership. Meanwhile, George Russell questions Verstappen's 2024 championship win, calls for greater rivalry in 2025. Mercedes driver George Russell has shared his candid thoughts on Max Verstappen's 2024 Formula One World Championship win, suggesting the Red Bull ace benefited more from his rival's mistakes than outright dominance. While acknowledging Verstappen's exceptional talent, Russell believes the Dutchman's victory was not as inevitable as it seemed, given Red Bull's mid-season struggles. Verstappen started the season on a high note, dominating the early rounds. However, a surprising dip in Red Bull's performance midway through the season saw him endure a 10-race winless streak. Despite these challenges, Verstappen remained consistent, maximizing results to maintain his championship lead. The 2024 title was eventually clinched in Las Vegas in November, marking Verstappen's fourth consecutive championship. Yet, according to Russell, Verstappen's success this year hinged more on his ability to avoid errors than outright supremacy. Speaking to the media, Russell explained that while Verstappen deserved credit for his consistency, the championship outcome could have been different had others capitalized on their opportunities. Arguably, Max shouldn't have won the championship this year, but the others made a few more errors and didn't capitalize when they had the chance. Opportunities don't come around every single day. This year was Lando's chance. The McLaren might be there again next year. They may not. We just don't know in this sport. The Mercedes driver also pointed out Red Bull's uncharacteristic drop in form, which left the RB20 underperforming relative to its rivals. Despite this, Verstappen managed to convert every opportunity into a win when the car allowed it, underscoring his consistency and racecraft. There's so much hype around Max. He's such an exceptional driver, but the fact is, he's won one race in the last 12. It just goes to show everyone is beatable because you are at the mercy of your race car.